zoax.net. Lesson 8. If, else. For this lesson, you will need a project like the one we created in Lesson 1. In this video, we present a key aspect of programming, the conditional if statement. With the if statement, we will be able to create commands that are executed under certain conditions. The if statement takes a logical boolean value and executes the code inside of its code block if the boolean value is true. In our first program, we give a simple demonstration of the if statement. We begin by declaring a boolean variable and assigning it the value true. Notice that we called the boolean variable isRaining. As a general rule, we will use this type of verb naming convention for boolean variables. So for example, we will use names like isDone or hasFinished for booleans. After the declaration, we have the if statement, which uses our boolean value to determine whether the code inside the block should be executed. Since we have initialized our value to true, this code will be executed. Executing the program, we see the message "It is raining" printed as we expected. On the other hand, if we initialize the boolean to false and execute the program, we see nothing because the code block after the if is not executed. Oftentimes we will want to have two blocks of code, one that executes if the boolean value is true and one that executes if it is false. To handle this, we use the if with an else block as we do here in our second program. Now if we execute this program, we see the message "It is raining" as we did before. However, if we change the boolean value to false and execute the program, we see the message "It is not raining" because the else branch is executed when the boolean value is false. We have introduced the if and else branches. Now we will introduce the else if branch. This branch allows us to add another condition that is executed as an alternative to the if and else branches. In this third program, we have added another boolean variable called isSunny and an else if branch to our conditional. This middle branch is executed when the boolean variable isSunny is true. Now if we compile and execute this program, we see the message "It is raining." Note that even though the boolean isSunny is true, the middle part is not executed. This is because only one branch of the if gets executed, and it is always the first one that is true. So if we want the middle branch to be executed, we need to change isRaining to false. Now executing the program, we see this message. To execute the third branch, you would need to initialize both booleans to false, like this. What if you want to print out a message for the case when it is raining and sunny though? In order to do this, you can add another if inside the first branch of the if statement like this. This is called a nested if statement because it is inside of the other one. Now if we execute the program with both of the booleans set to true, we will see the message that it is raining and snowing. I should mention that we can use else if branches without an else branch, like this. This statement is like a prior if, except that when the two values are both false, then no branch is executed. This demonstrates the versatility of the if statement. For our last example, I want to make the point that we can have any number of else if branches inside of an if statement. In this example, we only have two, but we could always add more. This works just as before. The first branch that is true is executed. So in this case, the message "It is raining" is printed when the code executes. You can play around with the boolean values in this program. Keep in mind that if statements always execute the first branch with the condition that is true, and the branches of the if are tested sequentially in the order that they are written.